Today, we are going to talk about cancer, metastasis, and the International Space Station. We are going to talk about how far can a cell move in our body. Welcome to Celluline Science for Everyone. My name is Roger. I'm a scientist living in Montreal, and this is my channel where we talk every day about science that may interest you. Well, the first thing that we have to keep in mind is that distance is a relative concept. I'm 1.9 meters tall, my legs are quite long, and when I have to cover a distance of, for example, 100 meters, that's roughly 50 times my height. It's not that much. For a baby, 100 meters, taking into account that it's less than a meter and they don't walk properly, it can be a really long distance. And for an ant, 100 meters is thousands of times the length of their body. So it's quite a long distance. What I'm trying to say is that in order to determine if a cancer cell covers a lot of distance in order to metastasize, in order to produce a secondary tumor in a different place from the first one, we have to determine how big is a cancer cell and how far they can go. Human cells can vary a lot in size. Neurons, for example, can have an axon that is really long. Cells in our bloodstream vary a lot on size. So, more or less, we're going to do an average. And we're going to say that a cancer cell is going to have a diameter, a length from side to side of the cell of around 10 micrometers. In a meter, there is 1 million micrometers. Let's say now that I have a tumor in my knee, and it's known that tumors in the bones metastasize on the brain. Let's say that the distance between my knee and my brain is around 1 meter. If we said that a cell is 10 micrometers, and we said that in a meter there is million micrometers, we know that the cell has to cover 100,000 times its size. And is this a lot? Let's think about something that is far, but in a distance that we still can understand. The International Space Station is orbiting at a distance of 400 kilometers from the surface of the Earth. Let's say we travel in a rocket that is 4 meters tall, like a big SUV. If we divide 400 kilometers into 4 meters, we see that the rocket has to travel 100,000 times its length. So this small rocket has to travel 100,000 times its length, the same that the cell has to travel from the knee to the brain. And also, we have to keep in mind how much energy does the cell need to travel from one point to the other. The rocket has to overcome the gravity of the Earth. The cell that migrates has to go through the tissue, and this is really costly for the cell. It's difficult for her. Imagine that you are in a concert. It's going to be much more difficult for you if there is a huge crowd and you have to find your friend at the other side of the auditorium, rather than if the auditorium is empty. So imagine the cell having to cross a really crowded and compact auditorium. I love to imagine the cells on our body as really powerful machines. In fact, they surprise me every day. Would you like to know more about cell migration? In other words, how cells in our body move from one point to another, why they do it, and how do we study it? Please let us know in the comment section below, and hit like and subscribe if you like this video and the content we do.